Good morning and welcome to This Week in Cincinnati. I'm Carol Williams. Election Day is almost here. The intensity of the campaign is growing, and Ohio is getting a lot of attention during these final days, as we always do. Since last week, Hillary Clinton, former President Bill Clinton, Bernie Sanders, and President Barack Obama have all campaigned in Ohio. Eric Trump was in Youngstown on Wednesday, and Donald Trump campaigned in Wilmington Friday afternoon, just before we recorded this program. The latest average of polls from Real Clear Politics on Friday shows Trump leading Hillary Clinton by 3 points in Ohio. Hillary Clinton spoke to a large crowd Tuesday at Smale Riverfront Park. While she was here, she talked about gun violence, education, and accused Trump of not liking many of the people he would lead as president.
It's almost impossible to understand how somebody could run for president who seems not to like America as much as he does.
Clinton's opponent in the primary, Senator Bernie Sanders, spoke to Clinton supporters Thursday on the UC campus. He urged them to vote on Tuesday and emphasized that politics doesn't end on Election Day. And in one of the more visible signs of the divisions within the Republican Party, Ohio Governor John Kasich announced that he did not vote for Trump. Instead, Governor Kasich says he wrote in John McCain on his ballot. Donald Trump continued to hammer at the FBI's renewed investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails, telling his supporters it's more proof Clinton isn't fit to be president.
Further, they have found new emails as part of the 650,000 emails just recently found. Can you imagine 650,000? What do these people do? No wonder nothing gets done in government.
It is with all of that going on that we've invited two of the Tri-State's most important political figures to be with us on this Sunday before Election Day. Hamilton County Democratic Chairman Tim Burke and Hamilton County GOP Chairman Alex Triantafilou. Thanks for being here in this busiest time of your entire year. We appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
You're welcome.
In the setup, we just talked about some of the challenges you both have had. I mean, how hard has this campaign been? And Alex, let me ask you first. Our governor, the Republican governor of Ohio, announced that he's not voting for your candidate. I mean, how have you tried to thread the needle on this?
You know, we just talked about our candidate and our nominee and what he's doing. And the good news for us is we still are up in the poll. You cited it in the opening here, still up 3 percentage points in Ohio. I think that's going to hold up. Nate Silver says Ohio's 65% likely to go for Trump, so we've managed it. The good news about Donald Trump is he's not a career typical politician, and I think that's drawing people to his campaign. And if one politician or not, and again, I'm a big fan of Governor Kasich, but if one politician doesn't support him, I don't think that's going to make a difference to his core group of supporters. All
right, Tim, you've had your own challenges. This email crisis has been brought up once again. A New York Times poll this week said that only like 32% of voters trust Hillary Clinton. How have you tried to thread that needle?
Well, I think that you've seen with all of the principals who have been here in Hamilton County, literally in the last few days, that there's a great deal of emphasis on Hamilton County and the state of Ohio by the Democratic Party. We've got literally hundreds of volunteers who will be working from now until 7:30 on Tuesday night to make sure we get the vote out, to make sure Hillary's votes are there, and to make sure the votes for the rest of the Democratic ticket are there as well.
Well, now, let me ask you this. The poll, as Alex said, has Trump up, or has Hillary Clinton up. But where do your respective candidates have to do well to make the difference in this very tight race? Tim?
We have to carry Hamilton County. There's no question about that. We have to carry all of the large urban counties in the state of Ohio. And frankly, we have to run up the score in those areas, just like they will have to run up the score in the ring counties around Hamilton County. We've got a ground game in place that I think is going to deliver the votes we need.
And you think that can make a difference? How about you, Alex? What do you think?
We're going to do well in Southwest Ohio. We always do. The problem that the Democrats have is their interest is way down in the places where they typically get a lot of votes. In Cuyahoga County, for example, looked at a report yesterday. They're down 35% in early absentee ballot requests. So This Donald Trump has changed the paradigm left and right in Ohio. He's picking up a lot of votes that typically go for the Democratic nominee, which is going to make it a lot easier to carry Ohio. Of course, though, he is going to do very well in Southwest Ohio. Hamilton County continues to be a battleground. It will be. Not ready to predict a victory in this county, but we may not need that if the other counties show up in the big numbers that we expect and they don't pick up the numbers they typically do out of places like Cuyahoga, his old hometown.
Right. Now, you talked about how Donald Trump has sort of changed the paradigm. One of the key demographic groups that people talk about this year is women, is the gender gap. What kind of a difference do you see women voters making in Ohio, if any?
Certainly that's an important part of the demographic, and there's no walking away from the fact that Donald Trump has suffered some there, but the last 10 days really have been a game changer in many respects. Look, she is as unpopular as he is, frankly, among many groups that are polled, especially among women. So it's going to come down to trustworthiness and honesty, and I think the American people have just, their opinion of the Clintons, already relatively low, has just plummeted given these recent allegations about pay to play at the Clinton Foundation and this FBI new investigation of the emails. So I think all those things are going to help with the entire demographic. You see this race narrowing. Some of that is going to be female voters finally deciding they want something different or new in Washington.
But Tim, a lot of the thinking is that the women voters, traditional Republican, college-educated women, are going to vote for the Democrats.
I think there is a significant number of women who may have in earlier elections voted Republican who are simply not going to accept Donald Trump as their president. But women are not the only demographics that Donald Trump has insulted and belittled, and all of those things are going to take votes away from him that are going to come to Hillary Clinton.
Are you thinking in particular about minority voters?
I'm thinking
in
about
Ohio?
minority voters, I'm thinking about Muslim voters, I'm thinking about Hispanic voters, I'm thinking about handicapped voters, all of whom Donald Trump has insulted.
Let me ask you both. You're both on the Board of Elections, and this is an area where you would both have agreement. What are your concerns this year? We've heard a lot of talk about cybersecurity. What are your concerns about cyber attacks, and what kind of precautions are you taking in Hamilton County?
When it comes to the Board of Elections, you're going to find that both of us are in a lot of agreement. Our board is set up in such a way that our results, our counting mechanisms, none of that ever goes on the internet. So it can't be hacked. Our counting system, while it's computerized, it's all internal. We'll only read that, and it doesn't go out on the net, or it's not connected to the internet, period. So it can't be hacked into. We'll deliver a fair and accurate result.
Okay.
We agree on that 100%. We work extra hard to maintain the integrity of the ballot here. And frankly, where we have found those instances of fraud, we've most of the time worked together to kind of root that out. So yeah, I think the messages should be clear to everyone that in Hamilton County and Ohio specifically, we're going to run a fair election.
Good. All right.